Maybe a Knicks fan's booing a pick at the draft is a good sign. It seems every time they do it, the player turns out better than expected. With the 9th pick, the Knicks selected versatile forward Kevin Knox from Kentucky. Knox has great upside, and with injury concerns with Michael Porter, this was the best wing option at this spot. Knox showed flashes of a versatile offensive player in his freshman year. There were a couple of games at Kentucky where he took the game over and led the team to a crucial win. He's one of the youngest players in the draft. He's not a great ball handler, but he showed a nice one-dribble pull-up game throughout last season. Knocking down his outside shot opened up more opportunities in the paint where he developed a nice floater. With his size and athleticism, he can finish at the rim, in transition, and in the half court. He fell asleep on defense from time to time, which has to change on the next level. Knox is more of an offensive player as of right now, with the potential to be a solid defender. I always thought Knox was worthy of a top 10 pick in this draft because of his size, athleticism, shooting touch, and age. With their 2nd pick in the draft, the Knicks selected center Mitchell Robinson. We all know he has nice size and talent, but we just don't know how good he really is. Playing in college would have gave scouts a better projection of what he could become. He could be a good shot blocker, but nobody knows how good. Robinson can get up and down the floor and beat the imposing big man down the court. Declining to play in college cost Mr. Robinson millions of dollars. There's great value drafting him in the 2nd round. Even if he ends up being a lottery pick worthy player or just another average player, this is a good risk to take for the Knicks to draft him at 36. My draft grade for the New York Knicks is a B. The Brooklyn Nets went international with both of their picks this year. They selected the Bosnian scoring machine with the 28th pick, Dzanan Musa. The 18-year-old can simply get buckets. He can pull up off the bounce from deep, and he can penetrate in the lane and finish with either hand at the rim. Musa is more known as an on-the-ball scorer at this point. His scoring instincts, youth, and competitiveness made him a prospect worth investing for the Brooklyn Nets. There was a report that the reason he dropped in the draft was his insistence to come right over to the NBA and not be a draft and stash prospect. Maybe a lot of NBA people felt he wasn't ready to compete on the next level yet. He does have a slight frame and is not known for his defense. He will only struggle more with quicker, more athletic players on the next level. Musa plays with an edge, swagger, and is very confident in his ability, and that could be mistaken for cockiness that could rub teammates the wrong way. With the 40th pick, the Nets drafted forward Rodius Kurucs from Latvia. Once looked at as a first-rounder, Kurucs struggled to find consistent playing time at the highest level in Europe for Barcelona. Like Musa, Kurucs is known for his scoring and shooting than anything else, but he's not as athletic as Musa. He's a 6'9", 220-pound forward who can make the biggest impact as a small ball forward. He might not have the quickness to guard an NBA small forward. Even though he didn't show what he could do overseas the last couple of years, scouts still value his talent and could end up being just as good, if not better, than Musa. But he will need playing time. He is more than likely to get that in the G League early in his career. I can see Dzanan Musa getting a legit shot to play for the Brooklyn Nets in his rookie year. Whether he get consistent minutes throughout the whole season is another story. My draft grade for the Brooklyn Nets is a B-. It seems that great organizations find themselves in great position to select a potential stud in the draft. I believe that's the case with the Boston Celtics as they drafted Texas A&M big man Robert Williams with the 27th pick. If there's one thing the Celtics needed was a legit rim protector, and that's what Williams could potentially become. He's not a very skilled basketball player, but he does have elite athleticism and a wingspan of almost 7'6". Shot blocking and rebounding are two things the Celtics needed the most, and Williams could provide that. In his sophomore season, per 40 minutes, Williams averaged 14 rebounds and 4 blocks. There were questions about Williams' character and work ethic and how much he loves the game. On a struggling lottery team with no stability, Robert Williams could have been more likely to be a bust and not live up to his potential. But Boston is one of those teams with a winning culture, good front office, and head coach that could get the best out of him. Instead of moving up in the draft and giving up key assets to get a top 5 prospect, the Celtics decided to stand pat, which was a great move. My draft grade for the Boston Celtics is an A-. Initially, the Philadelphia 76ers drafted the hometown kid Mikal Bridges, and everybody thought that was a perfect fit in every way. The classic 3-and-D guy with size and length, unselfish and a hard worker. But around 20 minutes later, the 76ers traded him to the Phoenix Suns for the 16th pick Zhaire Smith. From what I know, is that the Sixers wanted Zhaire Smith from the get-go, so why not add a future first-round pick to go with it? Mikal and Zhaire both would have been good fits in Philly, but with his youth and athleticism, Zhaire has a higher upside. Smith will already be a defensive force with his athleticism, length, lateral mobility, and motor, who can possibly go at the 1, 2, and the 3 position. Ben Simmons would love to play with this guy. His finishing, slashing, cutting to open areas could only help the 76ers offense. He's not a creator off the dribble, probably never will be, but if he become a good three-point shooter, he could become the third most important player on the team. He didn't shoot that many threes in college, but he did make 45% of them, which is definitely encouraging. With their second pick of the first round, the Sixers went with the combo guard out of Wichita State, Landry Shamet. The 6'5" guard's ability to catch and shoot off the dribble are his most valuable skills. He also is a good facilitator, as he averaged around 5 assists per game during his last season in college. He can run an offense or play off the ball. With Ben Simmons and Fultz on the squad, it's a pretty safe bet he'll be playing more off the ball. Shamet wasn't the best defender in college, and he definitely would need to put in work to be at least an average defender. With the 54th pick, the 76ers drafted another guard, Shake Milton from SMU. He plays similarly to Landry Shamet. Good shooter, facilitator, and can score off the dribble a little bit. But he's a much better defender than Shamet, and he has a 7'1" wingspan, which is impressive for a 6'5" guard. Shake is not the quickest player off the dribble, and he may struggle turning the corner consistently in the NBA. They really didn't need another guard at this point, but since the 76ers drafted a few big men from last year, who still haven't been signed yet, you can understand this selection more. With the uncertainty of free agents like J.J. Redick, Marco Bellinelli, and also having Simmons, Markelle, and T.J. McConnell, it's hard to see any of these 3 picks getting any minutes in their rookie years. But the 76ers made 3 great selections, and you also add a future first-round pick to the mix, and the Sixers could have one of the most impressive drafts this year. My draft grade for the Philadelphia 76ers is an A-.